But who better than me?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the Casual Stream with your host, Face the Kid. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It's appreciated. I know I usually do these at 7:30. Apologies, but time got away from me. I was doing some very important family stuff. You know how that goes. Got to take precedence. But we are here. I think there's quite a lot to kind of go over before we get into episodes tomorrow. There might even be two. I very rarely do like 2 episodes a day. I leave that kind of work up to Ring IQ. Shout out to Julius. But yeah, there is a potential. There is a lot of stuff that's kind of gone on since. But yeah, like and subscribe. As I said before, let me know who's in the chat. Let me know if the levels is okay, if you guys can hear me all right. And yeah, each and everything in between. Let's see who's in the building thus far. Actually, before we even do that, a little talking point. First thing, shout out to October Red, who got the nice little exclusive interview earlier on with Craig Richards over in Saudi Arabia, speaking about this potential, what are we going to call it, this potential situation, let's say that, between Craig Richards and Hutchinson. I'm not going to say his first name because it just doesn't really work in this space. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. I've been given some information, and there's some information I'm still waiting for. I've got some first-hand, obviously I've got some second-hand information as well. But yeah, very interesting. And outside of that, what do you guys think of Boxing King Media's involvement in this? Apparently editing footage because Hutchinson is a friend of his or a friend of the channel's. And ultimately, what do you guys think was edited? Because I think there was 2 or 3 separate edits that came out of that actual clip. So yeah, what do you guys think? And also, I know that he put out a tweet, something along the lines of people are really quick to jump to the negativity. But in that same vein, I mean, you put out a clip that was nothing but negative for the monetization purposes of it. So if it was about not dwelling on the negativity, why did you put out the clip anyway, edited or unedited? Like, why not just kind of leave it on the chopping room floor if that's the case? So, I saw some little bits of hypocritical nature there, but I get it's a business. You got a business to run. You got to make them moves whichever way you can. I just want to hear what you guys' thoughts are on that situation. Maybe I'll give some more of mine later in conjunction with some, like I said, some information that I've heard on the situation itself. But yeah, let's get to the chat, see who's in the building. And shout out to everyone who's here from early. So Philip Anson, #1 in the building. Thank you very much. And yes, thank you for being here, even though it was an hour and a half later than it usually is on the Wednesday. It's that grub. Thank you. Big ups to you, always in the building as well. Star Fox WR45E, Jonah 31. He said that. Okay, let me know. Am I still lagging? Because there was a moment my Wi-Fi did actually drop off and it switched to 5G and then it went straight back to the Wi-Fi. So hopefully I'm okay now. Let me know. But yeah, big ups to you. Thank you very much for being in attendance on Star Fox. Okay. Base has that KG level Wi-Fi today. Hopefully it's been corrected. I did see when it dropped off and I was praying that wouldn't happen, but let me know if it's okay now. Dan the man, SC15, hardest working guy on Twitter, shout out to you. Skyline, a shout out, bit glitchy. Okay, So obviously this is from before, so I'm hoping that that those issues are done. Let me actually go to the bottom of the chat before I finish here, just to make sure that we're okay. Looking like 24p, not even. Are you okay? Strong, but oh crap. All right, hold on a second, because we can't be having this looking crazy. Bear me a moment. Right, ladies and gentlemen, talk to me. How are we looking now? Okay. Lovely. Thank you very much. Apologies for a little delay there. Yeah, to be honest, I probably should have restarted the phone before I jumped on the stream. But no, shout out to everyone in the building. Strong 480, possibly 720. You know what? We'll take 720. I ain't got the updated version of StreamYard yet, so shout out. All right, let me get back to the roll call and saluting the people in the chat. The beauty of the pencil. Shout out to you, Cuz the Motto as well. Jam Down 187 in the building. Who else we got? Okay, shout out to Emma Willis. Boxing King Media is a disgrace. If racist remarks were made to Hamza, he wouldn't have had the same reaction. Fair. That's fair. I mean, the thing is, in the video, he did actually say that there wasn't any racist remark made in that video, and that's not what he, I guess, edited. I think the thing is here, rather than just telling people what was edited out, it's all of the speculation around it that kind of you're just making it worse. Because he said it was too X-rated for for YouTube or something like that. But you've got a guy on there calling another guy a cunt. So what's if that's not X-rated? What is? It can only be something that is offensive to, you know, to a group or a section of people that you can deem X-rated, because it clearly can't be bad language. People swear in the videos all the time. People disrespect and cuss people in the videos all the time. So what is so X-rated about what was said? I don't know. It seems weird. And obviously it could have been the case where maybe something wasn't said in that video, something was said previously in an exchange that they had, and it got brought back up in that moment, and maybe at that time he didn't hear anything then, but something was said from before. Like I said, I've been told a few things from, like, you know, in and around the situation, but because I don't have the full facts, I don't want to speak on the full facts just yet. But yeah, the whole situation just seems a bit weird. And then the whole, like, blocking people on Twittex and unfollowing posts and whatnot, it just all seems a bit mad, to be honest. But Philip, Hutchinson's northern accent is a clear giveaway that he's most likely. Well, I won't go that far. Maybe not all of them. Emma, plus, as a journalist, why wouldn't you put out the full clip? I mean, yeah, there's that as well. Or, you know, you put out the clip, but you have a disclaimer saying, you know, the following views may be seen as offensive by some people. They do not represent the channel. They are not the views of the channel, etc. And then just kind of do it that way. Or you just don't pull it out at all and say, you know, there was some stuff that was said which we felt was egregious, and we decided that it wouldn't make the news, or it wouldn't make the you know, sort of make our content list. Healer done for. Shout out to you. You went missing a bit last week. I'm glad that you're back in the building. We got to talk to you in a little while. I'm definitely gonna have to send you a link again, because we had a nice exchange in the last time you was on the casual stream. So it's time to have a part 2. Reese Jones, shout out to you. Obviously Tom from before, shout out. Yep, I'm glad we got all of that sorted out now. Okay, yeah, nice fix, much better. Karma Serene, Karma in the building. Shout out, Karma. How are you? Hope you're good. Antonio Mace, shout out to you. Thank you very much for being in the building as well. Dr. Woodok, shout out to you also. And yeah, everyone just saying it's better. Craft Costanza, new name in the chat. Thank you very much for being here. Much appreciated. Starfox, it sounds like he's on some drama king media sayings. I mean, yeah. What's weird also is why Hutchinson is acting up now when he didn't have this type of energy at the first presser. Well, sometimes when you get closer to you know, to fight time, you get a bit more antsy, especially when you're having to make weight. You're having less, you know, less nutrients going in the body. You're tired. You're frustrated. You know. And maybe you're in more of a kill mode. So I don't really take much from that first press until now, because a lot of people are calm and then they get aggy afterwards. But yeah, okay, so yeah, that's pretty much that bit down. But yeah, any more thoughts on that situation? And I guess another part of that situation itself, do you think that happening the way it's happened is now going to maybe change the way the fight plays out? Maybe Willie Hutchinson's going to come in more aggressive because he's now on the back foot. Maybe Craig Richards comes out more aggressive. Maybe they both just knuckle down stylistically and make it a tactical chess match. How do you think that fight plays out? So yeah, I'm gonna let those answers just populate for the moment, and then we're gonna get into some of the other news that's kind of, you know, been coming out over the last couple of days. I will probably do extended videos on a couple of these topics, including like some member stuff. I probably won't get a lot done for Friday, I'll just about get basis picks out on Friday, because there is a very real potential that I might end up in Paris on Friday for another event. But yeah, news on that, you never know. But yeah, so my Friday may be very limited in terms of what I can and can't do and what I can and can't cover, but we will wait and see for that. Shout out to okay, there we go. And I think Craig will be punching with mean intentions now. Tom thinks it's going to be aggressive. Shout out to big ups. What happened with Richards and Hutchinson? Yeah, so Craig has said that there's been some racial comments, been directed his way from Hutchinson. He hasn't elaborated thus far on what has been said. I've been given some rough ideas, and I've been speaking to a couple members of the team. I have, like I said, I've got ideas, but I haven't been given the full words yet. But from what I've been told is after the fight, once all of that's out of the way, like, we will be told everything. But what I have heard is that it's been on numerous occasions where he's been making certain comments that, are very, at best, borderline, and obviously at worst, very egregious and offensive. I mean, to be honest, there was the face-off. I remember there was something he said in their face-off that they done when he's like, yeah, when he said, I'm gonna punch them dreads off your head and things like that. I'm like, not a racist comment, I would say, but it's very racially charged because, dreadlocks are historically, Black Caribbean specific, head, a headwear and head styles and hairstyles and whatnot, and obviously very tied to certain religious beliefs, so at very worst it could be a very culturally insensitive type comment. So if I heard that from the what's it called, the face off, then who knows maybe what has been said when cameras ain't rolling. That's all I'll say. Shout out to Smallsy, all the way from Australia. Shout out to you. Morning, which fights you discussing? So the minute we're just discussing some of the fallout, we're going to talk about the fights over the weekend, people's general thoughts. I'm going to be obviously giving the picks on Friday. I will record the video early and make sure it gets uploaded at the correct times, even if I'm not actually in the country to upload it. Star Fox, I just know Hill needs to be held accountable, not like his King John. Hutchinson is going to be Hutchinson is going to be on his bike. Well, look there, both getting in the ring on Saturday night, so Craig will get a chance to smash his head in, which is what he said. He said he's going to punch his face in, so we will wait and see. If they go late again, I'll watch the last one next day. Can't take the late hours anymore. Where are you based? Bro, just let me know. I mean, if you're UK, then it should, I think it shouldn't last longer than, say, 12:30 overall finish. But yeah, let me know where you're based, because you might be in a different time zone to the rest of us. Shout out Guy Fawkes, derogatory. Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. Jam down. No, boxing dreads off the head isn't that deep. Sometimes, like I said, it's context of who says it and how they're saying it, and are they, sometimes, like, all right, you get them examples where you got two women and they refer to each other certain ways, but it's between them. But then the next woman or a guy comes in and tries to refer to them the same way, all of a sudden they got a problem with it because they're not from that friendship group, they're not from that culture, they're not from that tribe. It could be things of that nature. Now, I like I said, that's just one thing. So I can assume if he said that, there's maybe other things he said that are close to the mark that maybe push the boundaries further. That's all I would really say like that. Philip, it's like the thing with Ryan Garcia's dad saying stuff like nappy head. Yeah, you know, there's certain people, certain demographics, certain times, those kind of languages, you know why you're saying it. You're not saying it from any type of positive stance. Like that's not even just supposed to be offensive. Like you're being specifically derogatory to like a genetic part of them that they can't change. So who knows? Like if it's just dreads, it's really not that deep though. Again, yeah. Emma Willis, racial undertones is what it sounds like. I hadn't heard much of Hutchinson before this card, but based on the interview I've seen, he seems like a piece of work. Not sure how good he is, but any less than top quality will not get past Spider. 100% I agree with that. Jam down. With further context, it may well be something underlined. Yeah, that's what I think. Craig is probably singing chip on the left hand side, they got burned. Oh no, I actually live in the UK and I still can't stay. Okay, I hear you. Fair enough. I appreciate that. There's been a couple, they've been bordering on criminal the time that those fights are starting, let alone ending. I still remember when we all had to thank Anthony Joshua for taking Francis Ngannou out in the second round when the fight didn't even start till like quarter to 1. I think the fight started, or 1:30. I mean, 12:30. Sorry. Yeah, got him out 2 rounds, and we was lucky we made the hard 1 o'clock deadline leaving for the watch party. Because imagine if everyone had to leave at 1 o'clock and that fight was still going on, it would have been a bit of a madness. James, evening base. I just can't wait for Spider to KO Hutchinson. King Media protecting him. That's what it sounds like. But again, the thing is, I'm cool with BKM. So I need further context on the whole scenario as well. But just from the outside looking in, the optics didn't look great because them cuts, they look mad janky as well. It's like, well, why was there a need to cut that? And then to be in the comments just saying it's too X-rated for YouTube. Well, then that's got to be something offensive. It has to be. It's something that that if it's on your video, you can get demonetized for. So, Danny Namadu, people need to start a petition to stop Derek Chisora fighting before boxing stops him. You know what? The thing is, the Joe Joyce fight, I feel, is it's not a fight where he's going to get totally like destroyed and like punched up for the entirety of the fight. I think he can keep himself relatively safe in that one, even if he loses. But ultimately, after this, he's got 2 more fights left. He said he wanted to get to 50 fights. He's on 47 right now. So let him have the 48th, the 49th, and the 50th at this point. There's no, he's not going to stop until he gets to that 50. So let him have 3 quick fights back to back. So, they used to start earlier, like 10 o'clock main event. Yeah, they did. I think sometimes it's just about when the broadcasters have a slot to put it on. The Zone really don't have an excuse though, because they can start their broadcast whenever. They don't have any other schedule they got to worry about. I would be quite happy if they started the show at 5 o'clock from the main card starting at 5 and finishing, at 10:30 or the last fight walking in at 10:15. Because you got to remember, Saudi are 3 hours ahead of us, so them man are staying up, they're starting their bouts at that 1-2 o'clock in the morning. That's not really a natural time to be up and be at peak physical condition. Did you hear about Yard pulling out of the purse bid? What do you think is going to happen now? I haven't heard about that actually. I mean, I knew it was going to purse bid. I haven't heard anything about it. That's going to have to be something I do some research on, and we're going to have to maybe talk about that in the video. Frank ducked the late ending question from base like a pro. The answer we were looking for was we're looking to start in the card earlier. 100%. Or maybe not even start the card earlier, but just have less fights on the actual the broadcast bit. Because remember, they ultimately are trying to get all 7 of the fights on the main broadcast. That's just not that's not really feasible. Chisora is getting stopped inside 6, man. You never know. He might not. I think it's not out the realm of possibility that Chisora can go the distance. Let's not forget, Cash Ali basically went the distance with him, and he's not as good as Chisora. And Chisora's got, he might be washed and faded, but he's a bigger guy, he's got better head movement, can stick closer to the inside. There's every chance that he can survive all 10. I think it will be a 10 rounder rather than 12, but even if it's a 12 rounder, there's every chance he can survive all 12 rounds. What's Derek trying to do? Have 50 fights like Floyd or something? He just said he wants to have 50 fights. He hasn't said why. I mean, it's not to do any Rocky Marciano thing, because what has he lost? 14 fights out of his 46 already. So it's not about that. But I guess maybe that's just his favorite number, or he just wants to end his career on a nice, sort of a nice, clean, even number that you can multiply and divide loads of different ways cleanly. I don't know what his specific reason for it is, but that's what he said he wants. The Haney's crying racism, the irony. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that one, but fair enough. I hear what you're saying, but there's anyway. No, actually, I'm not getting into no politicals today. Life or Bud, shout out. If you're culturally in tune, you know when it's racist undertones. Some guys will call you brother and smile in your face, but behind closed doors, they've got certain feelings and it spills over. I mean, 100%. That's also the case. Sometimes people will call you bro, and they actually don't like you. Let's be real. How many times have you been on road as a younger and you've heard someone call the next brother bro and then bangs him in his face? Like, so the word don't really mean nothing. So I used to be very selective, and I still am, with who I actually call certain words, like bro, fam, these kind. I don't say these words like willingly. Like, you got to actually be something in my life for me to use certain words around you, because I don't want the lines getting blurred. But that's me. I know I'm not like everyone, and that's good. Neither should anyone be. I'm afraid that it's already late for Derek to save his health. Yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe that's why he's like, all right, I'm already like punchy. I'm already like as bad as I'm gonna be, or like if I'm probably gonna get worse anyway. I might as well make some extra paydays from it and make sure that my daughters have a great life as a result. Maybe that's what it is. But I can imagine the next fight again. It's not gonna be like it's gonna be someone from his generation, and then he said he wants to have a fight in Zimbabwe. I would not be surprised if Derek Chisora's 50th fight is a Carlos Takam rematch. I wouldn't be surprised. Or potentially even a Dillian White trilogy. Imagine Derek Chisora versus Dillian White in Zimbabwe. That would be hilarious. I mean, if they was gonna do that fight, it would have made sense to do it in London. But actually, you know what? Maybe they do that trilogy in Manchester, because they had their first fight in Manchester. So maybe you run it back up in Manchester for the last one. But I know he still wants Deontay Wilder. He still wants to fight Wilder. So maybe that's an idea. Joe probably didn't want to be Cash Ali the next month. Very true. Derek still seems pretty coherent to me. Way less confused than after a loss than AJ. Life of Budge. Well done on Frank Warren interview. Thank you. Yeah, that's the third time I've managed to interview Frank. First time the first proper interview on my channel. There was one obviously before. It was more like a few questions in a bit of a huddle, but everyone kind of had their turn, but it was just back to back. And I didn't really record the other people's questions, but I know that they recorded mine. But yeah, thank you very much. I said to Frank, I'm looking forward to more, and hopefully I will get a couple more when I'm actually back out on the circuit doing the interviews and stuff. As you guys know, it won't be anytime soon, although I may end up at that presser on the 25th of June. The announcement presser for the Wembley show, the Riyadh Wembley show. If that one, I'm assuming it's going to be in the same place as the other ones that Riyadh do, and I'm assuming it's going to start probably about 5:30, 6 o'clock as they normally do. And if that's the case, that's brilliant, because I'll finish the work at 5. The tube station is not too far from my new office. I'll just jump on the tube down to Charing Cross, or Leicester Square, or Tottenham Court Road, any of those, and I'll be there, and I'll make sure I bring all my equipment with me. So yeah, any of those ones, those late starting ones, I'll be able to do. It's just the 1 o'clock joints will be off the table for a little bit. Hi, Lucan, shout out to you. Wilder needs to revert to his original ways. This technique is corny and less dangerous. You know what? It's very hard to revert to type. Sometimes when you mellow out, It's just, you don't really get it back. I mean, I was literally every day I was fighting for fun in like primary school, and then secondary school I changed a little bit, partially because I never wanted to get expelled or suspended. I had strict parents, so didn't really want to let them down like that. So yeah, I kind of stopped fighting, and then all of a sudden the killer instinct I had just kind of disappeared. Obviously, yeah, you defend yourself when you need to from time to time. Had a couple fights in secondary school. I ain't never lose one, but it just wasn't the same guy, same as in adult life. Just not really on it the same way. So maybe it's the same thing with Wilder at this point. Hi, Luke, and let's be real. Will Dillian actually go to Zimbabwe? I mean, look, if there's money on the table, I mean, he might not have a choice if he doesn't have a right to box in the UK, because he's not a big draw in the US. So if he can't come over here and box, maybe that's the next best option. Go to Africa, go to the Caribbean. I don't know, maybe go Puerto Rico or something. See if you can get on those cards. But I'm sure his situation will be sorted out soon. Craft Costanza, is it hard to get a press pass? Not really. It's hard to get the access that you want, especially if you're not a big channel. But in terms of getting the press pass, you just have to contact the right people, and you get put on the list. Then you get sent mail shots out when there's things happening, and you just put your name down to attend. And more times than not, if they've got space, they let you in. If it's like a really tight thing, then obviously they'll judge it by who's got the best social media reach, or who comes to everything. Like you can be a small channel with maybe only like 200-300 people on it, but you turn up to every single thing they do. Those people, they'll get special consideration because they respect the graft, the hard work, and they know that it's still an outlet for their fighters. But in those times, they'll be selective, and it will usually be like the big channels, and then maybe sort of like the medium-sized ones with fairly good reach that will kind of get the next shots. Zimbabwe versus the West Indies could be huge. All the cricket man would jump on board, 100%. Shout out to Neil Simpson. The first thing Wilder should have done is get rid of the league. I mean, maybe. I guess we'll find out on Saturday if keeping him was the right choice or not. Johnny Gaffer, Dylan is Caribbean. He won't have any issues going Africa. Yeah, maybe. Shout out to Johnny. Star Fox, I don't think pre-ayahuasca Wilder is coming back. Yeah, neither do I, to be totally honest. Alright, Ifsab Grub, I'm more excited for the Dubois fight. I'd hate to see him lose, to be honest. He might be overreaching with Hrgovic. That's a really good fight. Every fight, I feel like I know how it's gonna go, except the only fight I've got reservations about is Ford and Ball. That's the only one that I still haven't fully made my mind up about yet. I've got a prediction in my head, and it's kind of always been that way, but I keep sort of twisting back and forth. Every other fight, I'm pretty set on how I see it going. The only other one I think that could be different from what I'm predicting is Hamza Shiraz and Amor Williams. Ah, shout out to Jamdan. He's got the he's got the predictions up. Okay, so Ford versus Bull. Bull on points. Ford looks like it's one weight cut too many. Spider versus Hutchinson. Spider points. Okay. Shiraz versus Williams. Williams TKO. Okay. Dubois versus Hergovich. Dubois points. All right. And Wilder versus Zhang. Zhang TKO. Emma Willis. Ford's weight cut is scaring me. Yes, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it is looking a little questionable. I know we wanted that Saudi payday and all that, but he could end up looking horrendous on the scales. No one's actually, it could all be a ploy. I've got to imagine it has to be mind games at this point, because I know he did put a tweet out earlier saying it's later than usual. I get more time to rehydrate. Don't worry. But even sort of the tweet just kind of makes you think, is there issues in the camp, kind of thing. So yeah, it's tetchy, but I don't think if he was really that bad, he would have still gone through with it, to be honest. So he said the last one was a hard weight cut, which obviously he was out of the ring for almost a year, so it makes sense. But we saw he still had everything in that one. So hopefully he's got enough in the tank to be able to make this one come through. Johnny Gaffer, why do I feel Philip puts on a clinic finally comes out and stops Daniel? I mean, the pedigree's there, so excited for the 5v5. This is my Super Bowl. Okay, I would have thought that Fury Usyk was your Super Bowl, but I get it. There's more bang for your buck on this one compared to the last ones. I get that. Life for Budge, Wilder keeps him around so he can shoot his shot at Kate Abdo. He's got history and snaking his guys. No comment. But we saw what we saw. Neil Simpson, people give Wilder far too much credit. He's always been terrible, just matched brilliantly. I mean, yeah, I hear that. Mullah, shout out to you. I'm late, but fatherly duties first. 100%. 100%. And technically, I was late, so maybe you would have been watching this on playback otherwise. So yeah, it's no problem at all. Salute to you. Emma Willis, I got ammo. He's faced a slightly better fighters though. His boxing skills leave a lot to be desired. A lot of people are forgetting Hamza got dropped by a lukewarm fighter a few fights back. I remember that fight. His first fight up at 160. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of the guy. Or was it his? It was his. No, I think it was the second fight at 160. He got dropped. The first one I think was Jez Smith. Who wins? Lawrence Okoli versus Dillian White. To be fair, Lawrence looked kind of good up at Bridgerweight. I need to see a bit more. I need to see more rounds from Lawrence. Because the Lawrence I know normally, I still think Dillian's got enough to deal with him. But that being said, if Okoli can show me that he can take a much better shot now than he was taking before, then I've got Okoli winning that fight. 50 in the chat. Yeah, if there's 50 in the chat, please at least give me 45 likes. 5 of you can have the night off, but I need the other 45 to like the stream, especially if you do actually like it. Kraft, Dubois taking too many tough fights at an early stage of his career, could easily rack up 6-7 losses before he turns 30. Then he's potentially going to become the next gatekeeper to Chisora settings. I mean, do you know what the thing is though? He's had so many gimme fights. There's no more gimme fights left. He's had all of them already. And if you think about it, not every fight's a hard fight. In theory, Kevin Lorena wasn't supposed to be a hard fight. Joe Joyce wasn't supposed to be a hard fight. It just ended up that way. Jerome Miller, now yeah, that was, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Miller was gonna take him out just due to what we've seen in the past. But you know, that he's not the upper echelon of the division. So realistically, it's not like super hard. Hrgovic, yes. So realistically, you've got Hrgovic and you've got Usyk in terms of like the hard fights that, you know, before they were signed, kind of thing, and maybe Miller. So there's 3 fights. He's what, 20? What is he? 20? How many fights has he had now? Like 20, 26 fights? What is he? 24-2, something like that. So 4 hard fights in 26 is not. It's nothing major. Reece Jones, Hamza will knock Hamo out. All right. Philip answer. Hrgovic seems to be talking about AJ a lot throughout this build-up. He's talking about little smash. Talking about, oh, I'll smash AJ at Wembley Stadium, like the Croatian national team. Yeah, I remember that. But I mean, I don't think he's overlooking him as such. But you got to remember, he's being asked these questions a lot. Daniel, I mean, they're not really asking Dubois because he doesn't have that mandatory shot. But if he had the shot, they'd be doing the same thing to him, because that's what they always do. They always ask you about something down the road rather than what you're doing that day. So Hamo's performed very well in his last fight, and his KO was impressive. Yeah, although that was last minute replacement, a guy coming up from 154 pounds as from his natural weight class. So, you know, there's still things you got to take, you know, sort of take into consideration when you look at that fight. But yeah, I hear you. Gorgaruga, shout out. What if inactivity explains Wilder's lackluster performance versus Parker off night? I mean, if that's the case, then fair enough. He's got 12 rounds in the bank now, so there's no excuse for inactivity. Any ring rust you had should now be firmly off of your body. So let's find out. Neil Simpson, I want to support Hamza, but they keep saying he's from Ilford when he's from my town, Slough. Yeah, he's isn't Adam and Hassan Azim from Slough as well. So yeah, there's a nice little community over that way. Emma Willis, Hrgovic has to show us why he's called the boogeyman. Maybe he's suffering from the Ronnie Shields effect. I mean, yeah, look, Ronnie's where you go if you want your career to perish. But Hrgovic just hasn't been facing the necessary opposition that's going to show that Ronnie Shields just doesn't have it anymore. And to be honest, never really had it to begin with. He just had a few lucky moments. Mullah, my fear with Dubois is we know he has that quit in him. Yeah. Hopefully it's been exiled out of him. You know, it's been exercised, but you never know. They've kept Shiraz away from punches for a reason. They did the same with Dubois, Yard, etc. There's a pattern. Fair enough. Like for Bush, they always talk about AJ. Yeah, it's true. Every fighter does. Joyce did and got beat by Jean. You tried headbutting us all with foolishness here. You're a mix-up artist, you know. Alright, so okay, oh, that's them two getting back and forth. Right. Okay, I'm gonna open up the chat in 5 minutes, but before I do that, I want to talk a bit about this thing that's going on at sort of the money team at the moment. You know, like Floyd Mayweather, TMT, Al Heyman, and stuff. I'll go into it more in detail in my in episodes tomorrow. But obviously, you've had Jaleel Hackett that just moved over from Money Team to Matchroom, and Jahan Ingram is also trying to get up out of his contract over there, as he's trying to also engineer a situation where he can move over to Matchroom as well. We've also seen obviously several other PBC guys. Sudbriel Matias moved over to Matchroom. What's his name? The other Puerto Rican guy. I think his name's Hernandez. What is it? Not Eduardo Hernandez. That's Rocky. There's a next guy that came from PBC that moved over to Matchroom as well about a month ago. Um, I also heard rumors that Gary Antoine Russell is looking to go over there as well. After this fight that he's got against Alberto Puello on the Javante Davis undercard. There's another guy who left that group and went over there. I'm trying hard to think. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, to be honest. But yeah, there's several of them, and obviously there's more that's trying to leave. So when you kind of look at it, you're just saying, what is really going on over in that group? Obviously, we know that the whole PBC like side of things is not the best situation at this point in time over on Amazon Prime. Doesn't look like it's about to carry on in any great shakes. But yeah, it's like it's almost a bit comical when you remember how Leonard Ellaby used to talk about Eddie Hearn and Dead Zone and X, Y, and Z, and then he ends up being on the on the platform that died, and then on the next platform that's no longer. It doesn't look like they're even in boxing past this fight. They might literally have the capacity to only do like 4 fight cards a year on that Prime situation. So it's going to be very interesting just to see exactly how that whole thing plays out. But it's just funny. And even to the point now, I remember I saw a couple of interviews like a few weeks, maybe a month ago, where Leonard Ellaby even had to begrudgingly give Eddie Hearn some praise for something that he done. I can't remember. I think it might have been a signing that he made, and he or a fight that he got over the line, and he gave him some credit for that. I'm like, oh, even Leonard Ellaby, can't even get the bars off like he used to when it comes to Eddie Hearn. I mean, yeah, the whole situation is just it's a mess. To a degree, I'm happy on the sense that we don't have that little biosphere anymore where it's just isolation and our side of the street and we don't want to come out to play. Now that everyone's like, well, if we want to get paid, we gotta go across the street. We gotta, apply our services elsewhere because we ain't getting no money over here no more. So yeah, I'm just like very, very the boot signing, that's it, Jam Down, thank you. Yes, he gave credit on the signing of Boots. That was who I was thinking, even though technically Boots was never a PBC fighter, he was just exclusively signed to Showtime. But yeah, he fought on all the PBC cards, so for all intents and purposes, he was one of them. But yeah, like it's just funny how everyone was in on it. Dead Zone, The Zone, like no one cares about an app. 2020, what was it, from 2019, 2020 when we had the pandemic, 2021, oh, he pissed away $1 billion and what has he got to show for it? And now all of a sudden, like, The Zone is literally leading the market globally, and it's probably at absolute worst, I would say I'll say it's third in the UK. Unless you count, well, maybe if you count Channel 5, you might say it's fourth, but in terms of sports, it's definitely, I'd probably say it's second in terms of sports, third in terms of overall coverage in the UK. Obviously, US is a lot different, but then the rest of the world, I mean, it's dominating, it's cleaning up. So, yeah. Like for Butch, the fighters and the matchups drive the sport, not some mafia type promotion outfit. 100%. All right, now I'm going to put in the chat, I'm going to put a link. I specifically want Healer Dunfor to come on, but anyone else who does want to come on for 10-15 minutes, I'm going to close off by 10:10 at the latest. So day 11, celebrating Usyk smashing Luke into New Year's Eve, 100%. But yeah, I'm going to keep this to 20 minutes. absolute max. So yeah, anyone who wants to come on, feel free. I'll time everyone. If it's a back and forth you want, then I'll give you an extra minute for any retorts I have to give and any final comments. But yeah. And if no one clicks the link, then we're out of here in 10 minutes time. Oh, there's already people in the... Okay, we've got Jack in the building. I'll bring you one in a second, Jack, so just wait there. Just want to get to this last comment from Riddler. Shout out. So that guy can fight, maybe lacking a bit of power, but cocky. I expect Bivol to win on points. It's funny. Remember when they said there's 3 things you can guarantee in life: death, taxes, and Canelo on points. So now we've got Bivol on points is the new one. But yeah, I hear that. Potential. All right, so now let me turn that down and bring in Jack. Jack, welcome to the channel.
Yo, what are you saying? You good, boys?
All good, man. Thank you very much for logging on. What's on your mind?
If there were to be another 5v5, just give me one matchup that you want to see.
From what, like a Matchroom Queensbury?
Yeah. Just
if there was another 5v5, I would like to see Dalton Smith versus Pierce O'Leary.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Have you got any that you would like?
I want to throw one at out of nowhere. I'd like to see Sky, like boxer, Ben versus Eddie.
Oh, so 5v5 from Boxer or Matchroom, yeah?
I think they should do that next.
All right, well, who would you have facing who?
So, okay, let's think of this. So you saw Chevron won, was that last weekend?
Yeah, the British title.
In versus Vidal to settle it.
Okay, well, I think that's going to be ordered next anyway. So yeah.
But you know what Ben and Eddie are like. That probably won't happen anyway. But
no, I think Vidal Riley won't let Ben pull him out of a purse bid. He's too cocksure of himself for that.
Yeah, true. And Adam and Dalton Smith.
Okay.
That like definitely won't happen, but you know.
I like that. Caroline Dubois and Beatrice Ferreira. Or maybe Rhiannon Dixon as one as well.
Yeah, I prefer Dixon to be fair. Bigger fight.
Okay. Definitely an easier fight for Caroline than Ferreira.
Yeah, 100%.
Any others?
Ooh, the weight classes. I can't think on the spot right now. That's better.
All right, no worries. Well, look, I got more people jumped in the chat. Is there anything else you want to say, Jack?
Big yourself up, innit?
Thank you very much, man. Bring yourself up and make sure you return next week.
Of course, bro. Of course. See you next week.
All right. Peace. Healer done for. You man are done for. Shout out to you. In the building, people. He's back. He didn't run.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, man. How you doing?
I'm good. So what? Starfox and them trying to pull me up on receipts, fam. What's going on?
So basically, obviously, if you remember, 2 weeks ago, or was it 3 weeks ago now? Technically, you was you came on the show and you was giving us the talk about Fury and why you were supporting him over Usyk and how we should be backing the Brit and all that stuff. And a bunch of people said you sound like you was Derek Chisora with the Zimbabwe accent talking about back the Brit. But yeah, we just wanted to, because you said that you thought he'd win, that he'd knock him out and all that stuff, and you was backing Fury. So I just wanted you to come back and just give your assessment on the fight. I've seen you in the chats since then. You know, you've been around, but I just want to hear what you had to say about the fight, your thoughts and stuff like that.
Okay, so first of all, we have to address the Happy New Year thing, yeah. Okay, so let me educate people, yeah.
Okay.
So the calendar that we've all been using, it's wrong, right? So listen to what I'm saying. Let me educate you, man. Yeah. The word seven in Latin is sept. The word eight in Latin is oct. Hence, there are other words in English that derive from Latin, like octagon and words like that.
Yeah.
The word nine in Latin is novem. The word 10 in Latin is decem. Hence, the other words that are derived from Latin that we use now, like decade and decagon and words like that. So, September was originally meant to be the seventh month. The original calendar had 10 months, right? That's why December, decem, means 10 in Latin. So what happened was Julius Caesar, he added 2 more months to the calendar. He added July, named it after his daughter Julia Caesar, and he added August and named it after his son Augustus Caesar. So you have to understand, when we celebrate the New Year is supposed to be the beginning of the solar solstice, right? Which is March, April, May, right? But for whatever reason, because we follow the wrong calendar, we celebrate New Year in the middle of winter when the sun hasn't even started his new cycle, right? So when Tyson Fury says Happy New Year in May, he's actually more accurate than when everybody else celebrates New Year.
Okay.
So I just want to put it out there and educate people. Yeah, that when Tyson Fury said Happy New Year, it completely went over people's heads. Yeah.
I mean, could it maybe have just been a situation where he thought he got the 10 count, and if 10 is Decem, maybe he heard Decem in his head, and that's why he thought that the year was over. Are you saying that Usyk punched him up so badly that he actually started following the correct solar solstice in terms of the calendar?
He's always been following the correct solar solstice because Tyson Fury is never wrong.
But did he not say Happy New Year last time when he was facing Derek Chisora? Did he not say Happy New Year when it was October after the Ngannou fight, and he said, "I'll see you in the new year"?
No, just yeah, he meant in May. In May, that's what he meant. The New Year in May. That's what he meant.
I can't believe
And also, let me bring this up here. There's a lot of people in the boxing community here, and I didn't realize that there are a lot of people who are professional gynecologists, because the way that they've been trying to spread this scorecard, because it was a close fight, the way they've been trying to spread this scorecard, that tells me that they're used to spreading things in the professional life. So this scorecard, it was a close scorecard, but people are trying to spread it and stretch it out into something that it's not what it's supposed to be. But it's a close fight. That's what I believe. It's a close fight. Usyk won. I can give respect to Usyk, but it was a close fight. But let's not spread this. Leave your gynecology at your work, and let's not spread this scorecard out to make it wider than what it's supposed to be.
But you say that the scorecards that were given were close, right?
Yeah, but people make it seem like it's crazy to give Tyson Fury 5 rounds. It's not crazy.
No, it's not crazy to give him 5 if you're really searching for them, but it's crazy to give him 6, and it's horrendous to give him 7.
Now 5 is fair, but there are people who won't even give him 3 rounds.
I gave him 4.
I've seen some. Yeah, see, that's your gynecology kicking in, bruv. Why are you giving him 4?
Because he only won 4 rounds.
Bruv, Base, come on, man, come on. Even you have to be fair, fam. He won
fair.
5.
I gave him a round. I actually gave him a round where he got outlanded in. That's very fair. Because I could have given that round to Usyk as well, but I didn't.
What, were you giving Usyk points for just being in the middle of the ring and that?
No, I gave him points for actually landing punches. He was backing up Tyson Fury. He was landing a lot of body shots, a lot of power shots to the body, jabs to the body, jabs upstairs, power punches upstairs. A lot of Tyson Fury's early work was actually hitting gloves and arms a lot of the time.
So
If you
like,
let's check. If you remember, you check the punch stats. Tyson Fury threw, I think, 100 punches more than Usyk, and landed like 50. I think it was like 30 punches less. So the punch stats all Usyk outlanded Fury in seven of the rounds total. He outlanded him in power punches in 8 of the rounds. He outjabbed him in 4 of the rounds. So when you look at that as an entire metric, it's very hard to then, as I said, give Fury more than 4 rounds. And I even gave him a round where he actually was outlanded in that round in terms of clean, effective strikes.
bruv, that's that gynecology, fam. That's that gynecology. So, because the only reason Usyk outlanded him is because Usyk Fury got knocked out, almost knocked out, and like didn't land anything for like 2 rounds after that. So that's where he caught up with those 30 punches. But apart from that, it was close, fam. It was close. Come on, man. There were middle rounds, yeah, where like Usyk was struggling to get past Fury's jab. We can agree that like Tyson Fury won like 3 of those rounds.
Yeah,
So
Fury
you're
had a
telling me,
good middle part of the fight. He had after the third, from the 4th round on, he had a very sort of dominant period in the fight. Yes.
yeah. So you're giving Fury only 1 round outside of those middle rounds. See, that's gynecology, fam.
I gave him
Gynecology
rounds
101.
4, 5, 6, and 7. I gave him those 4 rounds in a row, and I didn't give
And
him anything else.
one other round elsewhere.
No, that's all I gave him. Those 4 rounds, and the 7th round, as I said, he got outlanded. He actually was very close in the punch stats in that 4th round. That 4th round was also a swing round if you wanted to go that way, but it gave it to Fury.
Bruv, this is gynecology, fam. So the first 3 rounds, yeah, you didn't give Fury nothing, bruv.
No,
Wow.
I'll tell you.
Okay,
Tell me
no,
what
but
your no. Tell me the rounds you gave Fury. Let's do that.
no, I'm not a scorecard guy because
Well, if
like
you're
I'm
not a
not.
scorecard guy, then how can you come to me with this argument without the facts to back it up?
No, but I'm about feeling, fam. I'm about feeling. I feel, bro. Okay, let me ask you a question. Doesn't this feel like the new year now? Like the where we're in. You look outside, like the
It feels
flowers.
like the new era. It doesn't feel like the new year.
Now, base, come on. The flowers are blooming now. Like the grasses, your dandelions out there. You can go out on walk. It's not raining. Like everything is about feeling.
It was raining yesterday. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I was inside still, but still.
I swear down, you are great.
I was inside. No, but like you understand what I'm saying, like with the flowers and things, fam. It just feels like the new solstice, fam. So to me, it felt like Tyson Fury won at least 1 or 2 of those like first couple rounds.
Well, unfortunately, you know what they say. And you know what, you're my guy. Shout out to you. You always entertain, but they say facts don't give a fuck about feelings, and unfortunately, neither do I. Listen, there's other people in the chat. I'm gonna shout you later. Thank you very much for being in it. Smallsy, Mr. Australia himself. How you doing, man?
Hey, g'day, Base. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. First, I'd just like to say thank you very much to Professor Uman for his lecture on gynecology. I found it very educational, and I really respect his discussion. I think I'd just like to take that one step further. I'm not sure if people in chat are aware of the WASP situation in Saudi Arabia at the moment. They actually have a severe WASP. Is it infiltration? What's the term? Infestation. Severe wasp infestation, and there were like multiple reports of like swarms of wasps at the stadium at the time of the fight. And I think that's where a lot of the mistakes were made in round 9. You know, people are saying it should have been called a knockout because Fury was like his consciousness had left his body and things like that. That was actually not the case at all. What happened in that round 9 was a Wasp actually entered the ring at that point. And obviously Fury is allergic. It's common knowledge Fury is quite severely allergic to wasps. And, you know, obviously he's not going to take the risk of losing his life from a wasp allergy. So he attempted to swat away the wasp, came at his face. He tried to move backwards. And obviously this had the appearance that he had lost consciousness. But in fact, it was just him really trying to avoid that wasp. And I think if you look back at the footage and zoom in really, really closely, you'll see that, yes, Usyk might be landing punches on him, but it's actually him trying to avoid the wasp. And the wasp eventually cornered him in the corner and pinned him down. And it was just unfortunate. It looked like he had been knocked unconscious. But yeah, just wanted to clear that up. And thank you, everyone. And I'll see you later, Base.
Thank you very much for clearing that up, Smallsy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's enough casual stream for tonight. That was highly. I mean, we got 2 sets of lessons. We found out about Luke Fury's wasp allergy. We found out about the correct solstice of the new year, which only Tyson Fury knew about in that moment. I mean, you know, it is what it is. What else can I say? But yeah, right. So with that being said, shout out Jack who came on. Shout out Smallsy. Shout out Healer Done For, aka You Man Are Done For. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I'm gonna read the last couple of comments that have come out, and then we're gonna shut this one off. But yeah, this took an interesting turn, but hey, that's why we're here. It's vibes. It's vibes on a Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. Saying to Smallsy, land the joke. This is painful. Here we go. Ying versus Yang trolls. Guy Fawkes. Tom, you got winners today. Reach Jones, what's happening here? Yeah, it's all fun. But yeah, big up to both. Smallsy are done for. That's the hybrid. Shout out to both of them. Both these guys do this with a straight face. Shout out to Charlene in the chat. Just before we're leaving off, a bit of the pencil. I was jumping up, but my goodness, are these guys real? Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year to everyone in the chat, man. Chris Collymore as well in the building. Shout out to you. Toby Butler just clicked on. Gonna catch the playback. Shout out to you. Neil Simpson gets us back to reality. Fury and Wilder, the 2 biggest frauds in the heavyweight boxing. I hear that. I learned about wasp allergies, Panani and Latin. What more could you want from a boxing takes? I deliver what we need, you know. I hear that. But yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. It's much appreciated. More content coming tomorrow. I'm gonna get the picks all wrapped up before my potential exit out of the country for the day on Friday. We'll be back for the watch along on Saturday. I'm gonna upload the stream for that shortly. But until we get there, thank you very much for watching. And this is the Hardcore Casual out.
Maybe I'ma make it, maybe I'm not. In time we'll see. But who better than me? I don't care if you agree. I ain't saying that I'm better than anyone. But who better?